As a culinary student at Le Cordon Bleu Paris, optimism and drive filled my days. Each morning brought along a new adventure, each recipe a new challenge to conquer. I remember vividly the morning my hands, shaking with nervous anticipation, turned out my first perfect soufflé. As I gently touched its crust, I experienced a strange mix of satisfaction and relief. My hands, once used to conjure delectable cocktails, were now messengers of a different but equally enchanting magic. The memory is crystal clear, the French sunlight piercing through the tall windows of the culinary lab, as if trying to assure me, guide me. The silhouettes of my fellow students, engrossed in their journey, provided a symphony of determination that became my motivation. The aroma of the fresh ingredients and the simmering sauces was intoxicating and instantly comforting, reminding me of my mother's kitchen back in Hangzhou, rekindling those memories of communal dumpling-making sessions with my family during the Chinese New Year. The blend of emotions, the excitement, the nervousness, and the nostalgia, was palpable, engulfing my heart just like the velvety waves of the margaritas I used to mix in Seoul. With every stir, blend, whisk, my confidence grew. The perfect soufflé stood there, symbolizing not only my efforts in conquering French cuisine, but also my journey of finding a new home in an unfamiliar land. And surely it was also a tribute to my resilient spirit, which, despite the ups and downs, was still fiercely committed to the path I had chosen. The sense of accomplishment was overwhelming, a testament to my potential cumulative growth, a sweet realization that I was indeed moving in the right direction. My first perfect soufflé became the symbol of my resilience. It was my initiation into the world of culinary arts and Parisian lifestyle, both daunting in their own ways yet equally rewarding. It was an affirmation of my abilities, a silent assurance that encouraged me to unfurl my dreams, laying the ground for an exciting journey into the art of cuisine and mixology. The reward of that day, crafted carefully along with my peers and mentors at Le Cordon Bleu Paris, would always remain in my heart, a cherished memory that fueled my passion to excel, one cocktail, one soufflé at a time. My time at Le Cordon Bleu Paris was filled with moments of ceaseless exploration and unforgettable learning experiences. But one of the most memorable ones was a particular lecture by Professor Morelle in December 2019 on innovative mixology techniques. Her presentation had a profound impact on me. It was not just a lecture, but a gateway to a world of endless possibilities in the sphere of cocktails. Like an artist painting on a canvas, she enhanced the nuances of mixology with every stroke of her blending technique, every choice of spirit, and even the reasons for the particular garnishes. She made me realize that the art of mixology was not just about mixing spirits, it was about the right balance, understanding the character of each spirit, and marrying them together to create a harmony of flavors that would delight the taste buds. Her words resonated with me deeply, amplifying my enthusiasm and stirring up an ocean of ideas that filled my mind with creativity and wonder. In that moment, I felt my perspective towards mixology start to shift. I started visualizing cocktails not just as drinks, but as a symphony of tastes, an intimate dialogue between the drinker and the drink, a tale narrated through the dance of spirits in the cocktail glass. Emboldened by the renewed sense of purpose, I decided to devote my New Year's resolution in 2020 to focus more on realizing my dreams of becoming an accomplished mixologist. I was determined to step out of the shadows of heartbreak, refocusing my energies away from my entangled personal life towards my goals. Applying Professor Morelle's teachings, I began experimenting, trying unique combinations, exploring uncharted regions of taste palette, constantly challenging my abilities, and learning from my failures. Just like an art piece can trigger different emotions in different viewers, I realized that each cocktail triggered different flavors and associations for different tasters. This was a turning point in my life as it not only provided me direction, but also equipped me with the right mindset to conquer any obstacle on my way. The passion in me was rekindled more voraciously, compelling me to search for the best blend of flavors, the best story that each cocktail could narrate. I sought to create cocktails that weren't just admired for their taste, but for the experience they offered, the emotions they evoked, and the memories they created. I was excited, filled with wonder and a newfound zest for my passion. The path was daunting, but I was ready to conquer each stepping stone with perseverance and dedication, ever guided by the lessons from that one transformative lecture. Professor Morelle's teaching shaped my understanding of mixology, molding me into an artist within the realm of spirits and flavors, setting me onto a journey where every glass was not just a cocktail, but an art piece waiting to be unveiled. It might seem peculiar to some, but for me, the events of April 2020 will always stand out with a vivid poignancy that still provokes a pensive hum. It wasn't just any routine day or a regular high-octane shift at the bar. It was the day I encountered a peculiar surge of nostalgia woven into the distinct taste of a cocktail I had accidentally created. The cocktail was an innovative blend that amalgamated the silken smoothness of soju with a zing of mandarin liqueur, sparked off by the gentle warmth of the French white wine. Its sweet yet fierce profile was designed to please a variety of palates, but the fierce jolt took over my senses, transporting me back to the sun-blessed landscape of my homeland. Every sip held the effervescent echoes of the frenzied markets of Hangzhou, the overpowering aroma from food stalls lining the cobbled paths, and the comforting oriental tug of familiar surroundings. My mouth became a portal to the past, my senses spiraling into a whirlpool of memories of the humble diner where my family would gather to feast on my mother's cooking on festive occasions. The memories came pouring in, accompanied by a silent, echoing, almost deafening pang of homesickness. To be miles away from one's homeland is to be eternally bound to an invisible wire of yearning that never truly lets you go. I was enmeshed in these feelings, caught in the undertow of a painful longing, like a solitary star in the vast expanse of a midnight sky. However, I learned that homesickness, in its essence, is not a malaise to be fought off, rather an emotion to be owned and embraced. It was an overpowering wave that carried with it the wisdom of my heritage ingrained deep in the roots of my soul, a reminder of the rich soil in which my aspirations were planted that eventually fructified into my present existence. Overwhelmed, I took a step back, letting this cascade of emotions wash over me, letting it nurture my spirit, heal my heart, and stir my soul. It was then that I realized that homesickness, pining for a soil you grew up on, longing for those cobblestone streets, could actually serve as a reservoir of untapped creativity. Acceptance was just around the corner. I gleefully realized that my longing for home was not a hindrance, but rather a catalyst. It was an earthy palette of warmth, tenderness, and affection that would fuel my creativity, find ways to express itself in the innovation of my cocktails. I nestled into this realization like a snug blanket, deciding to embrace the beauty of homesickness rather than shy away from it. The taste of home had traveled miles in a concoction of spirits, and I had found solace in my creations, cocktails that held the essence of my roots right in the heart of Paris. My culinary marvels in Paris didn't merely revolve around the quintessential French soufflés or mastering the fine art of distilling spirits. It included lessons taught by my ingenious culinary mentor, Professor Morelle. Her seasoned wisdom and profound insights about mixology acted as the guiding beacon during the course of my tenure at Le Cordon Bleu. Starting from January 2020, I was thoroughly engrossed in her fascinating lectures on innovative mixology. Breathing life into cocktails with her eclectic mixing techniques, she created magic with spirits, weaving rich stories of taste and triumph over the course of each class. I was enamored by her finesse, her unwavering confidence, and her ability to turn a simple blend of spirits into a sublime concoction. More than just a professor, she served as the cornerstone of my growing passion, a touchstone for my unquenchable thirst for knowledge, and above all, a beacon of inspiration. I began observing every minute detail of her work, every subtle nuance of her mannerisms. It was like an intricate dance, perfectly choreographed, deeply intoxicating. Every word of hers was like liquor for my soul, instilling in me a thirst for exploring the uncharted mixes of innovative cocktails, creating unique sensory experiences packed into every sip. Remembering the golden lessons etched in her every demonstration, I fervently dedicated myself to practicing, perfecting, and personalizing every technique she taught. It was her encouragement that propelled me to innovate, to blend, to create, and above all, to celebrate the art of mixology. I dared to experiment and venture beyond the comforts of conventional mixes, riding on the waves of her wisdom and paving my own path of learning and exploration. It was also due to her that I found a close friend in Sophie. We bonded over our shared love of culinary savories, a common dedication to mastering our craft, and countless meals exploring the treasure trove of Parisian eateries. Her support and understanding became my solace in this foreign land, a friendship fostered under the dauntless spirit of our shared culinary journey. Unbeknownst to most, the heart of my culinary journey was not the silverware or the sparkling cocktail goblets, but the warm, comforting hold of shared experiences and the irrevocable bond of trust and passion. Professor Morelle's mentorship was indeed my compass, guiding me through the vast sea of spirits and dreams, my beacon in the city of light. While successfully conquering the academically demanding final culinary exam in late May was a monumental achievement in my career, it was nothing short of an emotional battle. The culmination of years of rigorous training, relentless practice, and perseverance, the final exam was an intricate tapestry of the very best of culinary arts, woven together to offer the toughest challenge yet. Studying the course material seemed a Herculean task at first glance, with countless terms, techniques, and the sheer diversity of spirits used to weave the magic of mixology. I dived headfirst into my studies. Practically sleepless nights became the norm as I pored over textbooks, observed countless demonstrations, and practiced techniques till I could do them with my eyes closed. The desire to succeed was all-consuming, a fire fueled by my unyielding spirit and Professor Morelle's unwavering faith in me. On the day of the exam, the eerie silence in the exam room echoed my inner anxiety. With sweaty palms and a heartbeat mirroring the rhythm of a war drum, I stepped up to the makeshift bar, my fears somewhat dampened by the sparkle in Professor Morelle's eyes. The clock started ticking, looking more like an impending doom than a measure of time. Moving swiftly yet meticulously, I started off by preparing the most complex cocktails first, testing the limits of my speed, dexterity, and understanding of the intricate art of mixology. Before long, the cocktail shaker was my baton, my commanding control painting an artistic symphony composed of vibrant spirits, intoxicating aromas, and the balletic fluidity of my movements. As the exam passed its halfway point, I realized, although it was the most challenging I had faced, it was not fear that gripped me, but the rush of excitement. The final stretch felt almost euphoric as I seamlessly transitioned from one cocktail to another, each submission a mixology masterpiece. As my creations found their way to the judging table, a sigh of relief escaped my lips. The once daunting exam now seemed like a serendipitous blend of spirited battles and sweet victories. As the judges appreciated my work, I smiled, realizing that I had not just faced the toughest academic challenge of my life, I had rocked it. Even amidst the victory and recognition, my grateful glance traveled back to my mentor, Professor Morelle, knowing that her guiding wisdom was an integral part of this bittersweet symphony. Yes, post-exam was truly a time to cherish. The quiet tranquility that followed bustling waves of activity was as welcome as a drink after a long day. With exams now a thing of the past, I could afford to breathe, marvel at my transformation, and take the time to celebrate my success. One such occasion was a congratulatory dinner with Sophie at our favorite restaurant in Paris, Le Comptoir du Relais. The place had its warm charm, which we adored. The checkered tablecloths, the rustic chandeliers, the vibrantly eclectic bar waving a cornucopia of fine spirits, and the gentle hum of a bustling bistro. In every nook and corner there was something we cherished, some tiny detour down memory lane. It was where we ended up after an exhausting day at school, where Sophie first taught me French slangs, where we discussed our fears and dreams over perfectly done steaks and glasses of wine. It felt like home, where we were just two people lost in conversation, forgetting about the world. Sophie was my confidant, my rock, my fellow food connoisseur in this journey. We bonded over our mutual love for all things culinary and a shared understanding of the challenges that lay ahead. As we sat there that evening, we couldn't help reminiscing about the complex concoctions we had bravely tasted, the intimidation we felt at our first mixology class, and all those endless hours spent poring over the intricacies of the art. There, in that moment, we laughed, celebrated, honored each other's resilience, strength, and persistence. It was a bittersweet celebration, a celebration that marked my triumph, yet hinted at the imminent goodbye from this city of love. Paris had been far more than just a place. It had been a wild and exhilarating adventure that spanned years, an adventure where I had discovered, grown, stumbled, and soared. But the dawning truth was that I would be leaving this city soon, diving into another journey, facing the unknown, but this time around, armed with a treasure trove of knowledge and experience. From then on, be it Seoul or any other part of the world, wherever my journey would take me, I was ready. Even in this moment of introspection, I could not help but thank Professor Morelle. Her unwavering belief in me, her words of wisdom often sprinkled with a dash of humor, had been the wind beneath my wings. Her guiding principles and innovative techniques formed the foundation on which I was ready to carve out my unique style in mixology. Amid the misty-eyed celebration and the realization of the journey I had completed, she was indeed an integral part of every sip, every shake, every success. How could a mere thank you express the gratitude and reverence I had for her? Yet that evening, I raised a toast to her, to Sophie, to the city of Paris, to the journey, the lessons, the memories, and to what the future held for me, Evelyn Wei, the bartender from Seoul. From vibrant bistros to tranquil parks, from posh bars to humble street corners, goodbyes filled each crevice of Paris. There was something profoundly emotional about bidding farewell to spaces that were once filled with laughter, warmth, and memories. Yet, amidst the heartache and nostalgia, there was one person I felt privileged to bid farewell to, my mentor, Professor Morelle. She was not only an educator, but also a beacon of wisdom, a guide who held my hand through the labyrinth of mixology. From her, I learned that the essence of mixology transcends mere pairing of flavors. It draws from the barkeep's own emotional palate, mirroring the soul of the one who concocts it. The gastronomic delights I had created under her mentorship embodied all the highs and lows I experienced. Every perfectly balanced cocktail was a testament to my triumphs, while those that left a bitter aftertaste echoed my tribulations and failures. Professor Morelle didn't teach me just mixology. She taught me resilience and tenacity, masked under the guise of spirits and brews. Our last supper together was at a cozy brasserie nestled in the heart of the Latin Quarter. True to her effortlessly unconventional style, we deviated from the classics and opted for quirky dishes that mirrored our shared adventurous spirit. We laughed over bouillabaisse ice cream and reminisced about the very first day I walked into her class, brimming with dreams and anxieties. There was a comfort in the familiarity, a shared understanding that brimmed in silence, each clink of our glasses a salute to the bond we'd built over the years. Each sip, each taste became a tangible memory, something I could return to when I missed the smell of Parisian bakeries or the hustle and bustle of the sous chefs hurriedly prepping for the evening service. Toasting to this significant milestone in my life, we looked out to the cityscape, the night sky wonderfully smeared with a rich blend of hues reminiscent of our shared love for liqueurs. In that picturesque moment, I realized the enormity of my incredible journey with her. It was not the streets of Paris or its delectable food, but Professor Morelle, who added a notable character to my time in the city. She was my Paris, meticulously blending wisdom, inspiration, and love into a cocktail of memories I'd cherish forever. She reminded me that my story was far from being over. It was only the book that was changing, but the ink was still mine. And so, with a heavy heart, yet a soul brimming with gratitude, I left Paris, taking memories etched in each corner and my mentor's words encouraging my forward journey. The world was my oyster and mixology was my pearl.